What do you mean you want to start a civil war?
I don't want to start
What?
a civil
Who?
war.
You do. You
I
have
don't-
this
it's
already
not-
in your heart.
no,
You
I
want
just
more
not-
people to
li-
die. You
oh
just
my
came
God.
from a whole place of
Listen,
war.
it's
How could you
okay.
want to see
Listen,
more destruction like
can
this?
I answer the question, please?
No!
Okay.
Surely.
What?
It's good to see you. Wouldn't have expected you here, though.
I wish it was under better circumstances. But she says, I would like to answer questions, or I can attempt to do better than Tony did.
What's our purpose here then? I mean, then we came all the way here. Well, we didn't, I guess, intentionally come here, but I guess the entire mission was to find these emissaries and also...
No, Alia. The mission was to keep the emissaries safe.
Right.
And they are. I have possibly done a disservice in not revealing to you a very important fact about our cause.
Which is...
I have been in the Third Horizon a long time, but this is not where I originate from. I work with part of a group from the Second Horizon that has been here for many decades, since the Portal Wars, made up mostly of mystics. When we found out about the Icons and the arrival of the First Horizon, we have been working to stop them, the Nazarene sacrifice. This is who we are, the Children of the Song, a group of agents from the Second Horizon sent to stop the First.
What's different from what you said to what I said? The people are the one who are going to war? You think the Consortium gives a fuck about what the people of this moon think? Or the people on Kua think? Or the people on anywhere think? Algol? The Consortium set us up to be heroes of the Consortium, so they had a battle cry when they fought the Order. We can rally the people. The Consortium and the Order are still going to go to war. So rally the people to what? We can rally them to other war and be a third party. The war's happening whether we say anything or not. I can make a speech. I can rally the people. I can't rally the Consortium. I can't rally the Legion. But what do you want me to rally them to? The emissaries? And then what? We all go into hiding? What's the plan here?
Surely, that's my question. Why are the emissaries in hiding? Why will they not stand up and say something? They have a unique position and a unique power.
It's not that they won't get up and say something. It's that they will be hunted and killed. Plain and simple.
All of these people are worth their lives? All of this
Some would
death?
say. I believe
for
so.
For what? What do
For
the
whatever
emissaries
it-
provide the Third Horizon? The Second Horizon? What are they doing aside from also stirring chaos and discord?
And nobody here is forcing you to work for the emissaries. Whoever was here, before we originally arrived, left behind what we call monoliths across the Third Horizon. You've seen it, been inside of one at Kua. But it is my belief it is actually a weapon. A piece of First Horizon technology that has been lost, or was at least being researched, potentially dating much older even than humans here inside the Third Horizon. I believe the Nazarene sacrifice knows how to use it. I don't know exactly what they are waiting on. Maybe the cover of war. I believe the emissaries also know how to use it, and may be able to shut it down.
I guess, do we just... Sounds like we just sit tight? Is that it? Do we just stand by?
That is a choice you will have to make.
Tight?
I haven't told you to sit tight. If you feel that is your only choice, I'm so sorry. I only came to give you answers, not a mission.
What answers?
I thought I would enlighten you as to what it is actually going on.
The only enlightenment you provide is that you're from the Second Horizon. And no offense, but if you people would just stop fucking around in the Third Horizon, we wouldn't be in this mess. We'd be in a different mess, but not this one.
Our interest only lies in the emissaries and their safety.
I personally
Once we can
am giving
assure
less
that,
and less of a shit about the emissaries. If they can stop whatever this monolith bomb is, then why the fuck aren't they?
this Sholey person said that, We always seem to be in the right place at the right time. What if we have the right thing at the right time? What if there doesn't have to be war if we're get rid of the big weapon?
That could work.
And if it's the monolith, what do you think it's aiming at? Probably Coriolis. We have to stop that.
People of the Third Horizon, my name is Malik Al-Assad, crewmate of the Defiant and rebel son of Algol. We stand poised on the brink of war, a backward slide to the days of our ancestors first clawed their way into the Third Horizon. The hegemony ready their boots on your necks. These blood purists want to control the horizon through force, and where once the Consortium stood against their ideals, the lust for Burr has darkened their vision to the truth that stands before them. And the bulletin only serves to shade your eyes as well. To this end, I call on the Free League to stand apart from your Zenithian counterparts, to see beyond the veil of lies, and to rise as champions of the people. The Order of the Pariah, once saviors of the Third Horizon, have been infiltrated by the very enemy they gave everything to defeat during the Portal Wars. This is not a claim that I make lightly, but the Order of the Pariah has been infiltrated by a cult known as the Nazarene Sacrifice. But the Nazarene are not the only people manipulating you. There is a group called the Children of the Song, who we have identified as remnants of the Portal Wars from the Second Horizon. At this point, war is inevitable, and it is far beyond time for us to take back the horizon. Our integrity sells for so little, but it is all we really have. It is the only thing in the world worth having. We must never lose it or give it away. We must never let them take it from us. It is the very last inch of us, but within that inch we are free. The crew of the Defiant stands with you. We are rebels for a cause, poets with a dream, and we won't let this world die without a fight.
Okay.
Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. What is that? The cameras are correct. Holy crap. He's a professional all of a sudden. Welcome
We're
to the
still
channel.
starting 20 minutes late.
Shut up.
We're not late.
We're 20 minutes on time, okay? If you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is the Patreon link down below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Dot does whatever she wants to us. Most of the time, 90%. It's terrible. Two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you. That being said, I will turn things over to Dot to take us into space.
Oh, friends. Last week was, as you can see from the recap, an emotional filled drama ride where new information was received and a lot of questions were left on the table about what the next step for the crew of the Defiant is. Unbeknownst to the rest of the crew, Malik made a rather important and poignant broadcast calling out the Nazarene sacrifice, the Order, pretty much everybody, and attempted to incite the people of the Third Horizon to step up and to do something about what hopefully is not oncoming war. I think, oh, and let us not forget, Tau was also delivered a message. Well, the ship was delivered a message that Tau retrieved just before we ended. How do I want to do this? You know what? Okay. It's time. There were a lot of important decisions made, and it's time for me to spend some important darkness points for a variety of things. 3 of these darkness points are entirely 100% on Malik. Let's just be honest. Malik has spent and brought on a lot of darkness over the years to assure he critical success on a lot of stuff and repercussions for his actions. 2 darkness points will be spent now for an event that has not happened. So that is now 5 of 11. We'll just start there. But Tau, while Malik is locked in his room,
Oh,
so sorry,
bless
everybody.
you.
I had to sneeze. It snuck out. While Malik is in his room doing whatever it is Malik does, those of you that were in mess, the mess hall, or the mess area, Tau returns with a small disc, unless you have attempted to hide it, Tau.
No, we should not be having secrets right now.
Yep, that seems like a good and fair thing to say. So you see that there's kind of a shiny blue. It kind of looks like what those little discs that you used to put in video recorders look like. Like after we got rid of tapes, we went to the tiny little, and it's in a flat blue case. You know that this is a basic data disc.
I'm sorry. Anytime I see tiny discs like that, I always only imagine Xenon the sequel. All right. She has the little earring that is a data disc. And
A data disc, yeah. So that's kind of,
Wow,
that's
spoilers. God,
basically kinda what it
KP.
is.
20 years. It's been like 20 years. Back off, man.
Yeah, Tao, you return to the crew sans Malik.
Humming Supernova Girl. I go ahead and pop this in my own personal data pad to see what's on it.
You pop it into your data pad, and it is not a video. It is a series, just a text, and you can see it begins to like click, 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 click as the letters pan out on the screen. You can see it is in fact a message from the Draconites. You can see the symbol at the end when it pans out, and it is your patron that has requested. They have very important new information regarding the Nazarene sacrifice and have requested all of you to join them on Coriolis.
Well, perfect. That seems like that's where we were going anyways. If we can get there. That's something we need to talk about. So, Tamir, I don't know if have we filled you in? We're currently at the City of Foreigners. To get out, we do have to run the blockade and do a portal jump unassisted.
If there is one thing that has always been certain for us, it's that we can run any blockade and jump through any portal. I'm not worried about that.
Not even like a little bit.
I mean, I always get some pre-jump jitters, but you know.
I trust my math. I trust my pilot.
I bless the ship. I mean, we've done worse and still came out alive. Mostly.
I mean, yes, I suppose so.
I mean, no
All
pressure,
right.
but you've been fantastic, and you know, you haven't led us astray.
And Tao kind of eyes Tamir slightly. She definitely looks nervous and says, well, all we can do is trust in the math, right?
Do not forget to trust in our pilot as well. Just because you have the math doesn't mean you have the skill, but you have the skill. Every time, Tal. Every time. And if something were to happen, we are fated, remember? Our story will not end from a portal jump. I believe that.
Well,
And-
there's a first time and a last time for everything, and I really hope that you're wrong or that you're right. I hope that you're right.
At least we'll go out with a bang. Sorry. I think at that point, Aya just comes up puts like both hands on your shoulder and looks in your eyes. He goes, listen, you are our captain for a reason. We trust you. And we believe in you. We are here to support. But every single time you have been fantastic. And we will believe you'll continue to be fantastic. Besides, you're multi-talented. You have your mystic abilities as well. Maybe perhaps that might help. You have great instinct. Instinct, can't speak.
I mean, maybe.
One of these days, we're going to have to work on your confidence.
Ooh. All right, so I guess we need to finish fixing the ship and then we can leave, right? We still have to fix the ship, right?
Yeah.
It isn't already fixed. Correct. GM.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the ship is ready to go. You're supplied up. You're fueled up technically.
Oh, ship is fixed. Okay.
Yeah, ship is ready to go. But no sign from Malik.
Okay. I'll open comms to Malik's room. Hey, Malik,
Yeah.
you ready to go?
Go where?
To Coriolis.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know, if you were here rather than moping, then you
Yeah.
would know.
Okay. Are we jumping now? What do you need?
Well, we are gonna start taking off. So just thought I'd have you ready in case we need to get through any security systems or anything like that on our way out.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I'll meet you on the bridge.
Do I pick up anything as an empath about is Malik off? Can I check to see if well clearly he seems off,
Malik
but...
has been off since we landed on this fucking moon.
I was gonna say,
Well,
it will
more
be
so.
a very, very difficult roll to see if he is off just based on his voice alone. But you can always make it.
Okay. Well, we'll see. What sort of a roll should I make?
It would be manipulation.
Manipulation, which is not my forte.
Okay, a single success.
And
Does he seem a little
would you like me to make a competing one, Dot?
You can, yeah. Or do you feel like Malik is trying to hide what he just did?
I thought he did that in front of us. The sending of the.
No, he went to his
Malik
room
left
all
you
by
guys
himself.
in the cafeteria.
You have no idea he broadcast that.
But I thought he was going to make a speech, so we knew he was going to make the speech.
Well, he had talked about it, but you didn't know if he was actually going to.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Roger.
Oh man, would Malik try to hide the fact that just happened? Yeah, you know what? I think he would. Not out of normal Malikness, but like we're about to run a blockade and make a jump through with no calculations or with only Tamir's calculations.
Yeah, you can make
he's not trying to add extra stress to this environment.
Okay, it is a success. He does not seem any more distraught than he was when he left here, say 10 to 15, 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
He still seems a little off, but that seems, based on the last time you saw him, there's no difference.
Okay.
He did just yell at a priest for 20 minutes.
You know what? I am going to go ahead and have you draw that card. I have put together a new deck for the machine icon for Tamir. This is entirely made up by me. This is just so that we had a deck. It looks like Tamir pulled the malfunction card.
Why? I was like, Dad, are you ready for this fucking card?
Mike, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and pull a card too, because I played the person of influence. That was Sholey. That was played last week.
You sure did.
So you can choose a new faceless card
Dude.
for the board.
There are no more
On the
cards in my
board
deck. I need you to reshuffle it.
That seems incorrect. Let me just.
I just do what Roll20 tells me.
Try it again.
Oh, there it is.
Let's see here. Oh, an artifact.
An artifact. Okay, cool. So we have 3 colors played. So death is still on the table. Mountain is still on the table. Malfunction and an artifact.
None of those sound great at all.
Thanks, KP. The death one's yours.
Blame the cards. Apparently, I don't have the heart of the cards.
Nope.
All right. Based on Malik's actions last week. No, you know what? I'm going to hold on that too, because it's going to take some time for your information to disseminate out. It's not going to do it in 20 minutes across the galaxy. It is Sally. As maybe you head to the cockpit, or Sally hears you all talking about getting ready to leave. And she says, Captain, we may have a problem.
What's that, Sally?
It seems that inbound there are 6 martyr soldiers. They have come off of a vessel parked nearby, brought in from the city.
Great.
Estimated 1 minute until they reach the vessel.
I come over comms. 6 martyr soldiers inbound. Sally, give me visuals, and I start walking towards the door.
Yeah, you can see all the comm screens across the ship begin playing the cameras from the outside, and you can see these 6 martyr soldiers dressed entirely in like martyr attire and armor begin to like split off in 2 as if they are going to maybe surround the ship. 2 of them head straight for the gangway.
Jameer's gonna head to his station and start prepping the ship for launch.
I will note it is day 2 of the meetings here in the city.
We still technically have that person that we said we were going to kidnap, and
but it's cool if you don't. I mean, you could just let them do their thing. So they're currently in the gardens, which is one of the 6 domes that make up this massive like city. Before you know it, 2 soldiers are kind of at the door, and you hear the comms come on. By the order of the Pariah, please evacuate your shuttle. We would like to have a word.
that's weird. Captain?
I come back. No visual, just sound. What's the word?
We will ask you one more time. Please evacuate the shuttle so that we may ask you questions.
Oh.
Hello, Captain. Do you want us in air? Engines will be ready to go in a moment.
Shit, I don't know what to do.
Again, by the order of the Pariah, please evacuate your shuttle or we will be forced to enter.
Captain, we need to go.
Let's go.
You're going to try to take off. Okay. Tal, I'm guessing you run up. Do you warn anybody else that you're taking off?
Oh, this is all over comms.
Great. Okay.
Malik is headed to the bridge, like he said.
Great. Wonderful. Okay. The moment you start the ship town, you hear them come over comms once more, because the gangway draws up. By the order of the Pariah, stop your vessel, or we will be required to shoot on sight.
Time to go. Just double checking on my own way. Alia doesn't have any affiliation with the Order of the Pariah, right? She's been on the run from them from the get-go, so she has no feelings towards these people. Okay, good. That's why. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Other than the fact you're illegally docked on their planet.
Yeah. I'm going to use my talent.
Okay.
I have the Traveler's talent, which I can ask the GM about a choice I have to make in the game. Has to be a choice with only 2 options. Should I stay or should I go?
Should I stay or should
Yep. The GM must then answer truthfully which of the 2 is most beneficial to you, if that is all possible to estimate.
Okay. If you flee, they will send a fleet after you to shoot you down. Which Tau would know. I mean, they have some of the most important diplomats right now on this planet, which you can only imagine means there is a military force to back it. They would not bring them into this city if they didn't think they could keep them safe. You're not sure how they located the vessel. Radio broadcasts are easily traceable. But you don't know that anything was broadcast from your ship yet. If you stay and follow their orders, they have not. There might be an opportunity for you to talk your way out of it. Ship searches are regular, and in a heightened time like this, they may just be looking to search the vessel, or like see who's on board and why you're not docked at like the regular docks and so forth and so on. So, your best option would be maybe to comply, or risk possibly being chased, which is going to make your jump very difficult.
Yeah. At this point, I power down and I say, just stay here.
The ship like poof down, the engines go down, and you can hear once more them they were yelling over top of it, like when you're yelling in a bar and then the music stops. It's kind of like that. They were yelling into the comms as you booted the vessel up. And he's like midway through once again, please evacuate the ship, as the door slides open. And in front of you stand these 2 martyr soldiers. Some might even call them warriors based on the amount of armor they wear. They both carry rifles with them. The other, you can see like 2 off in I say out of your peripheral, one at both ends of the ship, and you can only imagine there are 2 others like surrounding it. And their ship, you can see it all way off in the distance where they kind of pulled in. And the 2 martyrs simply say, "Are you deaf or just an idiot?"
I've been accused of both, to be honest with you.
Are you the captain of this vessel?
Yes.
May I ask what you're doing in this area? You did not clock in with the docks.
Well, we were having issues with the ship when I came down. It wasn't quite able to make it.
Did you report these issues?
To who? It's wild in there.
The dockmaster would have served, but yes, it is wild. Unfortunately, this area is restricted for the next 2 days. We are going to have to ask to search your ship. We received a strange radio beacon coming from this area.
Well, I didn't broadcast anything.
And we're not saying you're a liar. We would just like to see for ourselves. Yes, you have been here for several days already, but you've been way under the radar. Nobody knew you came in. Right? So nobody was able to search you down at this point. But today is Garden Day, and the gardens are the nearest dome to where you're parked.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I can just leave.
We will grant you such permissions as soon as we search the ship.
Why do you need to search my ship? It's been here longer than you.
Why are you fighting us? Are you hiding something?
No. I just like my freedom and I don't want strange people on my ship.
Would you like to roll a manipulation?
Oh, I don't have any manipulation.
Okay. Nice.
I can roll an empathy. That's not going to do great. Can I argue that that was a command? Because I don't.
What are you?
I don't want anybody on my. Well, I don't want anybody on my ship.
How many extra dice does your command add?
2.
It's pretty significant. I will give you the chance to try to command them to leave you alone.
A 1.
He says, one of the gentlemen standing here says, Miss, he's the other one that hasn't really talked. Look, we don't want any trouble. In fact, that is exactly the opposite of what we want. We will forego the search of your ship, but you must bring your whole crew out for us to question.
Fine. I don't have a large crew, but you can say hi to them, I guess.
This would suffice. And he kind of takes a few steps back as if to let you off and then the rest of your crew.
Yeah. I go over comms. I say, crew of the Defiant, we are foregoing a search for everyone to come and present yourself to the people here.
You hear Lamar go, ooh! And immediately her boots start clicking your direction.
Yeah, Tamir's gonna head that way. Although he's unsure if they are being themselves or if they are using their false identities.
When this order comes across, I mean, there's no taming Lamara, but if Tamir kind of hesitates for a second, you see Malik reach back and pull out whatever's holding his hair up, and he like pulls a finger through the braid that's on the side of his head, so his hair just kind of falls like shaggy to the side, and he undoes his shemagh and puts it on the chair that he was at, and he walks out, slowly unbuttoning
when you let
his
your
jacket.
hair down.
He slowly unbuttons his jacket as he goes to try to look slightly different.
Seeing that, then Tamir's gonna he doesn't really have much. He wears a uniform that nobody else wants to wear on the ship, so he kind of like maybe unbuttons it a bit. It just kind of like pulls it up, like just makes it look messy.
It just falls open.
Yeah, yeah, it just like falls open, right? And just I mean his hair is messy. He can't contain it, but maybe he just grabs like whatever space hat, and just kind of like puts it on and will try to keep his head as low as possible.
Yeah, maybe a little extra grease on your face or a pair of goggles or something to help shield a little bit. Well,
yeah. Oh yeah. He puts the glass. He takes his glasses off and then puts the artifact glasses on.
Nice.
They look really different.
And you have to have a baseball cap from college, right? Like you got the school merch.
Alia is not with us at the moment, but I imagine Alia will not go out without her suit.
She has her face thing.
The face thing that changes her voice. If nothing else, the 4 of you step out and you see what Tao saw. These 2 men, armor, guns, their vessel just off in the distance. And they kind of look at all of you, eyes kind of squinted. One of them does. He leans over and whispers something in the other martyr's ear. And The head guy looks up at the ship where it's painted. Did y'all repaint it? Yeah, it doesn't say the Defiant anymore. He looks for the name of the ship and notes that it's different. Says, well, there is a ship matching your make and model wanted, but it is not called the
Client.
We had a name for it.
It was not called the Compliant. Strange, really.
It was like Stardust or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And he looks you up and down and he says, your captain tells us you had some engineer issues. And he looks right at Tamir, very clearly the engineer with the smut and the jumpsuit and the kind of Welgan goggle type things. Chat says, was it the Phoenix?
I think so.
Oh yeah,
sure.
It rose from the ashes. It lives a second time. Yeah, he looks right. He says there were some engineering problems. Is this true?
Yes. Unfortunately, while we were out in space, we encountered debris from the battles that had been going on, and needed to have an emergency landing to make repairs.
That's not entirely false, so I won't make you make a check.
Shit balls.
Like, do you want to make a check? I will have you make a check.
I don't think that's lying. Is not manipulation. Is not Tamir, but he is empathetic. I mean, Tamir has no idea why they actually landed here. Tamir was out.
There were a few. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're kind of.
He has no idea why
We've talked about it though.
Yeah, y'all did
Okay.
like debrief the reason why you landed on this place in particular. It was only populated place. It was how you could get the broadcast out. Like there were a few reasons to be here.
Okay. I got a 1 limited success.
Okay, cool. So okay, a single success. He kind of nods like that's maybe not unheard of. He says that checks out. But my real question is, what are you doing in Zalos here?
Is somebody else gonna answer that question? Because Tamir.
Wait, are we all together?
Yeah,
I'm
we all-
sorry.
we all
just-
got-
You
okay.
chose. Yeah, if you want to come out, I said that you probably would have had your mask on, but it's up to you. They asked all the crew to leave the vessel so they could question you in
Okay.
exchange for not searching it.
Okay. We are. They are here to escort me. I'm on a.
Free trading mission.
Yes.
Trade. The free traders. They're striking right now, all across the galaxy. We could probably arrest you just for saying that.
Sorry, why are you asking our engineer why we're here and not our captain, who's...
We've already spoken with her. And your name?
Mossad.
Mossad. His eyes kind of squint again. He looks at the other guy like everything's just enough off. He says, "All right." And he says, "What are you?"
we've been on a jump and we've been traveling. So as you know, especially in the outskirts like this, the word reaches kind of slow. So we found out that these strikes have been happening only recently, and in that time, as you can see, and she points to the vessel that's clearly dinged up and needs repairs, that we've ran across pirates, asteroid fields, so many things that have harmed our ship, and
Pirates. That means you weren't coming from Kua or the nearby system. So how did you jump in? Our portals have been blockaded for weeks.
I need to shut up. I need to.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You can roll a manipulation if you want.
There's a guy have no clue. What are you on about, buddy? Okay, manipulation.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I can certainly try. That's a 1. That is
Okay, another limited success. He kind of squints. Okay, that kind of checks out. You could have been coming from Otakon, where there actually are pirates. Like that, space pirates checks out. That checks out. What doesn't check out is how you jumped in. He squints again, and he looks over to Lamora. You've been quiet. What is it you do on this ship? And she smiles all bright-eyed. I'm the doctor. Mm-hmm. And what would a crew of free traders need with a doctor?
The same thing every crew needs with a doctor?
Yeah, have you not been to space? It's brutal out there.
Everyone needs to see a doctor. It's very important for your health.
It's why we provide doctors at all of the major portal stations and surrounding stations. Usually small free trader crews don't carry their own doctor unless they...
I don't know if you've been on a spaceship before, but you see how ours is dinged up and we barely made it here? If we didn't make it here, we'd be floating in space, unable to reach a portal doctor. So having a doctor would be pretty useful.
Lumara, so manipulative. She
Make
is.
their
She
eyes
has such
bleed.
I think
such
Lumara is
so
the
much
only one that
manipulation.
rivals me in that stat.
Immediately, all of you smell this kind of sweetness in the air
Mm.
of honeysuckle and
Oh yes.
fresh rain. Malik, you successfully rolled the last time for this, so you don't have the infatuation.
I'm the only
that
one
everybody
immune
else
to
may
it.
have.
The only one she wants affected by it is immune to her pheromones.
But you can see that immediately all of you almost can't stop turning to look at Lumara. The two martyrs immediately turn to look at Lumara, and the four that are surrounding the ship begin slowly walking back this way as if drawn in. I wouldn't say against their will. They openly do it, but there's a little bit of a, as if they're being pulled to her, this unseen force. And Lumara says, "Don't worry. I used to serve on one of those stations. I have checked all of the crew out, and they are tip-top okay." And the men go, "Oh, yes, ma'am, of course they are. They look good." She leans in and she goes, "Actually, between me and you, they all took some major head trauma, and I'm trying to get them back to, a proper doctor." And he goes, "Oh." And as she leans in, you can tell one of them lingers in the air next to her, inhaling the pheromones that her body is letting out. And she goes, "But if we don't go soon, it could be permanent." And the other goes, "No." He goes, "No wonder they're being so strange. Thank you, doctor, for your honesty. I suggest that you get out of here as soon as possible. This is a volatile area, and we hate that we had to stop you, but checks must be made. I must also know, have you seen any others out here? The strange radio signal. It was very strong."
Oh, we have.
With genuine honesty, I feel like the
Yeah, and
whole
all
crew
four.
is
Yeah,
like,
pretty. What?
what now? Is it Charity again? With their
Critical
television
success. shows. He goes, "I love Charity." She goes, "Us too." And he goes, "You're all right, this crew. I don't think there's anything suspicious going on here. They seem a little..." Omar goes, "A little..." And he says, "Quickly, we'll let you leave, but you only have 5 minutes. After that, we will have to take alternate actions."
Yeah, let's go. You heard the man.
Thank you.
One of them goes, "Wait, we didn't get your name." And she goes, "I know, because I didn't give it to you." One of them swoons a little bit from underneath the helmet. You can tell as all of you pile back on the Defiant. And the door closes up, and you can see the six of them kind of step away. And there's a moment as the pheromone leaves the air, they kind of shake that off. The critical success from Lumara is enough to convince them that there is everything wrong with all of you and nothing wrong with her. And she very clearly is in charge here. And there's nothing that needs to be, this is of no concern to them. As you get back on board the ship, and she goes, "My, they were so nice."
Are we still under her effect?
Sure. Really, all of it does is make you more susceptible if she tries to manipulate you in some way.
Okay.
It's more of kind of like the pheromone just in general is
It's rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
yeah, it's rose-colored glasses. She's just that much nicer and more beautiful and more charming. And but she, the pheromone comes and goes at her own pace. And in this case, she got nervous, and that's what happens when she gets nervous. Her pheromone goes off.
Conversely, you see Willie go, yeah, no, they were real nice. As he walks to the bridge.
I know. And you know what? I haven't even seen the Defiant TV station in like 2 weeks. And she goes over and boops on the one of the monitors.
I'm
And-
preparing for takeoff, by the way.
Everybody's like preparing for
Yeah.
takeoff, and everybody's doing their thing. Lamara turns on the charity station. And all of you can hear it because she loves to play it throughout the ship. And you are met with Charity's voice. Third Horizon, have we got news for you? A fresh broadcast come in from the Defiant. The Sons of Algol are at it again. For the next 24 hours, we'll be broadcasting his speech all across the Third Horizon, nonstop, back to back. This has been Charity.
I feel like at that moment, literally everybody just turns their head and stares at Malik.
And sure enough,
you
Malik's
hear
voice
people of the
pings
Third
up.
Horizon.
There's like a really
My
shitty
name is
photo of
Malik
him that
Al-Assad.
comes across the screen.
Crew of the
It's really
Defiant
tiny and it's like
rebel son of
slowly
Algol.
zooming in as his
We stand
audio
poised on the
plays
brink of war,
and getting
a
bigger and
backward
bigger.
slide to the days of our ancestors
I
who
swear
clawed their way
to the
into
icons, Malik,
Third Horizon.
if you start
The
a civil
hegemony
war,
ready their boots on your necks.
I will kill
The
you
these
myself.
blood curists
I
wanna
didn't start
control
a
the
civil
horizon through
war.
force, and where once the Consortium stood against their ideals,
You were going
the
to make
lust for
that,
Burr has
that
darkened their
speech.
vision
The
to
speech
truth
was
that
for.
stands
Is this the
before them.
speech for the Civil
And the
War?
bulletin only
It's
serves
a
to shade
different
your eyes
speech.
as well. To this end, I
You-
call on
you
the free
prepared
to depart
multiple
from your existing
speeches?
counterparts.
I can
This
think
was the
ahead.
not Civil War
To rise
speech,
as
Yes,
of course.
this is the
As
alternate.
I'm flicking.
not
back.
The
Civil
Order of the
War
Pariah,
speech.
once saviors of the
We
Third
have a
Horizon,
portal
have
jump
been
to make.
infiltrated by the very enemy they gave everything to defeat.
You
during
know,
the Portal
Malik,
Wars.
this actor they got
This is not a claim
is
that I make lightly.
sounds
but
just
the Order
like
of the
you.
Pariah has been infiltrated by a cult
Oh,
known as the
honey.
Nazarene sacrifice.
it's really
the
good.
Nazarene are not
Can
the
you
only
buckle
people
in?
manipulating you. There is
Okay.
a group
Engines
called
are
the
ready,
Children of
Captain.
the Song, who we have identified as remnants
The
of
vessel
Civil
like
Wars.
as you hear everything pressurize, Lamara continues to flip through the stations. She goes, as much as I like looking at your face, and she like clicks another button because the only thing is like Malik's picture and his voice on repeat, this speech on repeat. And as she flips through, she hits like a news station on Coriolis. You can see they're covering the ongoing like fights on the docks. She clicks again and you can see there's like some Order of the Pariah stuff that's covering these politicians in the gardens. They look very peaceful in talks. They're like at a distance, you know, so forth and so on. Click, 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 click. As the ship takes off. Tal, no problem getting out of atmosphere. Like that's easy peasy. Once you hit and get out of like off, I guess you could say off planet side or out of atmosphere, you can see all the ships still linger here. On one side are the Order of the Pariah vessels, which at one point, especially during the Portal Wars, were very well known for their ship fleet. A lot of it has been I guess you could say destroyed over the years, and the big issue that happened that all of you managed to survive and nobody else did really wiped out a lot of the fleet. But what's left of their major vessels are here, and they're staring off at Zelosian fleet as these ships just isolate. And you can see on the far side of all of these battleships staring each other down is the portal station.
Oh.
Yeah, so the idea of just zipping straight through the line sounds like a really, really bad one. Right?
I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna agree that's a bad idea.
You'll notice that's probably for sure. There is some stealth stuff on the ship.
Yeah.
Some creative thinking may get you around. You could there are options.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna be a bitch. No, I'm gonna do some bullshit. And this one. So we have the quickest route talent or
Okay.
feature.
Okay.
You find the quickest route. Travel takes half the amount of time, or one encounter along the way may be ignored.
Okay. There's that sneezing.
Bless
Y'all, my
you.
allergies
Bless
are
you.
a hot mess in Atlanta right
That
now.
was so cute.
Okay, so all right. I mean, I can definitely that is applicable. Tau. Passing straight through the middle technically is the most direct route. It is not the
Yeah.
safest route.
Yeah.
There are a few things for consideration here, but probably the fastest way over is to try to pick a fleet, probably the Order, and hide yourself amongst their smaller vessels. Like try to disguise yourself as part of their chunks of fleet as you maneuver your way through. If you pass right down the empty center, there's no doubt they'll see you. If you say hide yourself amongst the ships, you might have an easier time.
Yeah.
Could we float on like a piece of debris?
I
There's
mean,
so much.
sure could try. You will have to power down to still not be read as a ship, right? So like you would attach to
Yeah.
it and then float. Some other things for consideration that Tamir would know. Technically, the portal is activated from the station. So it's going to take some serious finagling, not because you don't have the address. You have the address to Coriolis, but you basically have to hack the portal here, which is under heavy military watch right now because it is a blockaded portal. Unlike last time, there's nothing for you to hop behind. Like nothing for you to ride behind.
Tamir is feeling so cocky right now, though.
Do it. Fucking do it.
Like
I mean, the other
they have the
options
best pilot. They have the best hacker.
This is a
And-
recipe for disaster. Just saying.
Tamir, I don't know what it is. Tamir is just feeling highly. I think after Sholi's talk is like, she's right. We have gotten through so much shit that everybody else should have died from, and yet here we are still doing things. If we're gonna die, it's gonna be doing something big. So all of the little menial like I feel like that's given him that false sense of security.
Okay. I mean,
Well, it's not necessarily so false.
I mean, so to answer Tal's question, the most direct route is right at the middle. Now, you know that both of these fleets are currently at a lock. There is a no firing law kind of in place at the moment, which means if one of them were to fire on you, it would start war. So there's a possibility they may still just let you through because they're not going to be able to do anything else without inciting other issues.
Ooh.
So there are a few options. You can hide yourself to get where you need to go. You could attempt to open the portal from a distance, Tamir, and then shot put yourself right down the middle into it.
I love that plan.
Like just power, pedal to the metal, power max, right up the middle, have the portal already situated and opened and just right through it. You also
That
know
sounds
you
so
have-
cool, though.
It's a much
But,
riskier option.
Yeah, super risky option. It sounds so cool, though. But yeah, I agree. I agree that trying to get at least a bit closer, hiding in one of the armies is probably a good idea. Powering down the ship saves power, but we have no way to really direct ourselves.
It'll take you a lot longer too. To
Yeah.
pass the empty space that way.
And also means that it just gives people more time to figure us out. And then we're in trouble by the time that happens. So at least if we're already powered on, we're already moving. Yeah. So
What if we changed our call sign?
So I was going to say one of the things that if you were hiding amongst them that you want to do is kind of
Right.
cloak the vessel to make it look like codes for whichever army you're a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Quick question.
And that way we could move freely between them.
Quick question. I feel like this is the only other talent that I can in any form used, but it's such a mulligan sometimes. But I do have premonition. Is there any chance I can use premonition
Did you
in
use
this?
that today? Like meaning in the timeline, like it's not changed days yet.
Ah,
Did you use it last time?
I used it for something, but I don't know if it was today and for what, because it's already the second day.
What was the last
blanket-
premonition you had?
It failed. It failed miserably. I think I want to say it was it was something to do with Lamara.
Was it the? It was.
It was a gym.
So it
ball.
has been
Yeah.
the same day. So it's up to you if you want to try, but it will be a much harder success rate in essence. Like you're going to need to get more than less to be able to make it.
Okay.
happen.
I want to try. I want to try. It's just worth a shot. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, okay.
Okay, a limited
It's-
success. You attempt to push a premonition. Time slows down around you, and you try to see through what's going on.
Yeah, just like kind of like almost essentially looking at the different paths and what direct, like which one is the safest path kind of situation, like the outcomes that would lead, or at least what feels like the better outcome.
A premonition doesn't necessarily mean that you see yourself doing the thing you want to do. What you actually end up seeing is the moment where Tao has to jump through on her own. So because in the end of the day, you all have to be in cryo the moment you jump through, which means everything will have to be pre-set up in advance. So the shot put idea means that basically you set everything up, everybody goes under, and Tao like launches you through and speeds you across, which means Tao's on her own and has a lot shorter chance of making it to her own cryo tube. If you hide, right, you kind of see that path, and you see successes in cloaking yourself amongst the armies and so forth and so on, and Tao still has to make that final jump kind of on her own before she pops in the cryo tube, but she's not racing a clock of shot putting yourself in, right? So it has a more calmed tone instead of the rushed feel. I think it really depends on how quickly you want to get there and what the risk factor is for you.
Yeah, I mean, like you just see like Aya kind of who was like doing like at the table, like doing something with her hands, and then suddenly goes still, and then turns to Tal. She goes, "There's something about the more rushed path that doesn't bode well with me. It feels like there's a chance we might have something happen to you. Perhaps maybe the slower approach may be best, even if it takes a little more time. I feel like it guarantees all of our safety more, including yours."
Now, Alia, you can't really control how these mystic abilities work. Sometimes premonitions are short and sweet and to the point, but this was one you pushed for. You kind of already used this power. You've exhausted yourself already this day. And as you're saying all of this out loud to everybody, the premonition is not done, and it pulls you through and rips you back. And it is not, in fact, anything to do with the Defiant. You see this premonition of vessels, of ships, coming over the top of a mountain. I'm gonna spend a darkness point and play a card. Coming up over this mountain. As they come up over the mountain, you see a ragged city made of steel and tall buildings, aged with time and wear. Slums a lot around the outskirts. You've never actually seen the city before. But as you come up over the mountain, you see a series of white butterflies. They kind of swoop up and over from your view. And as they race towards this city, your premonition is cut short by an explosion as they begin to bomb it.
Do I in any way recognize the city?
You do not.
Is there any, did I recognize, or not recognize, but were there any features in there that seemed to stand out to help distinguish the city?
I would say it's actually hard for you to even take that in right now, because as the explosion goes off in your premonition, it throws your body in this moment back against a wall.
Oh, Alia, are you okay?
I just what did I just had another premonition. I didn't control this. This was not I didn't ask for this. It just came to me, and they were everywhere. They're here. I don't know when, I don't know how, but hundreds of them. The butterflies, they're here and they're attacking. They were going to attack some city. I don't know which one. I didn't recognize it. It was just something's about to happen.
Okay, well, something's about to happen because we're about to sneak through to try to get back to the portal. So buckle yourself in so you don't fly back again.
A quick question, Dot. Is there an inkling based off of this new premonition? Does it give a feeling of urgency in the sense of if we don't make it in time, sort of a situation?
No, this gives a feeling of like maybe this hasn't even happened yet.
Right.
Saw something, right? So it hasn't quite happened yet, but the actions are in motion and tumbling forward. When it'll happen, that you just don't know.
Okay.
Like I said, it was partially because you didn't quite make the roll. It was like a repercussion, right? You saw something you didn't mean to. But the sense of urgency really, I think, is for Alia, right? Like, what is your, like, how urgent do you think it feels? But you, in terms of timeline, you have no concept of it.
Okay. Yeah, because like now she's boy. She turns to Tal and she goes, I leave it to your best judgment, Captain, because I feel regardless of which path we take, I trust you. I need to sit down.
Lamara comes over and kind of grabs you by the hand and arm and helps guide you away to a corner and buckle you, like kind of sit you down. And she kind of, she looks at your eyes to make sure you're dilating. And she says, it's very strange. It's as if you've had a concussion.
I mean, I did slam into the wall.
Well, I'm going to take Alia to medbay. Let us know when we should hop in the pods.
Yeah, be ready. I'm gonna try to sneak through to the other side. But if we're discovered, we're gonna hit it quick.
Okay. So we're gonna get a series of rolls from everybody in terms of what they are doing to help the ship succeed at getting to the portal. What's the crew up to?
After all this goes on, Malik has been like doodling on all kinds of screens. Things are swiping around. There's like numbers crunching, and he looks over to Tamir and says, "Can you power down all non-essential pod bays and all non-essential tasks for the ship, and redirect that power towards the stealth tech, engines, stealth tech, and signal?" So that we can fucking hack a portal, I guess? I don't know.
I mean, I could, but the stealth tech can only handle so much power. It even if we gave everything into the ship to it, it would only be what it is. We would need entirely new tech in order to convert that energy into something more.
So boost that and boost speed. Move as quickly and quietly as we can.
That you probably could do. What it would mean is that you're going to route power from your turrets, extra pods, anywhere on all the lights on the ship will go down to like emergency power, basically. So to speed yourself up, in essence, you will lose your like auto cannons.
Yeah. We did this before.
Mm-hmm.
We did this before. That's how Sally got into the system.
It's true. It's true. So I'm gonna get a science or technology roll, I'm guessing from Tamir.
Mm-hmm.
Malik, is your goal to try to change the ship codes to like match, or what are you planning on doing?
No, I guess my goal is, man, I have a cool scene in my head. My goal is like I'm having a bunch of like Malik is furiously writing on 7 screens at the time right now. Is like scripts are going and he's waiting to hit like go on all these scripts.
Okay.
The intent is once we get close enough to the portal, to basically hack the portal master, so that we have access to turn that portal on.
Okay. I would say with the redirection of energy, maybe your radius to be able to do that is larger.
Okay.
So I was still gonna have you make a data gen check to
Yep.
see if you can hack the portal master. We're gonna get a technology roll from Tamir. We're gonna get a piloting check from Tao. Alia, as you and Lamar reach medbay, she kind of sits you down and she hands you what is in essence like space oranges and a slice of, or like graham crackers and
Oranges.
Yeah, basically, to help you like feel better, in essence. And she says, you're gonna be fine. It's just looks like maybe a headache. And she hands you 2 pills. She said, this should help with the pain.
Okay. Thank you, Lamara. Pop it in and then drink some water. But you can tell she's like very concerned, like very, very concerned. Yeah, that's what else can she do? She's already blessed the ship.
Okay. So maybe a silent prayer as you and Lamara hang on and try
definitely.
not to...
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've done this in a while, and I don't know if it will work. It's been a long time, but is there a way that I can communicate with the Lady of Tears?
You can sure try.
Because I think that's what I thought that was. I don't know if I feel like I wrote this down wrong, but one of my talents is literally Lady of Tears talent. So I don't know if
let's hang on. No, there's a special Lady of Tears talent. Hang on, let's find out what it is. That's based. There's like an icon talent along with your.
Right, which I don't know if I ever I mean, I don't remember if I wrote it down correctly here, so I can't remember what exactly it was. Because I have premonition, blessing, exorcism, and Lady of the Tears talent.
Yeah, I just need to find what the Lady of the Tears talent is, everybody. This whole talents. Haha. Icon talents. Lady of the Tears. You can get back up after having been broken by damage or stress and are immediately restored to 1 HP. Alternatively, you can choose to ignore the effects of a critical injury when you sleep.
Okay, so that wouldn't...
Now, you can still try to pray to the Lady of Tears. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. Whether or not you'll hear something back, well...
well, yes, I will like to do that then, please. Do I do a mystic... Just a straight mystic roll?
No, this one I actually want to know what you pray. I want to know what you say to the Lady of Tears.
Guidance. Asking for more clarity on what I saw. Perhaps an idea of where, especially where it's happening. Because I don't know.
I will provide you a empathy check. Because the Lady of Tears is all about empathy.
Okay.
To see if you reach her.
Straight empathy?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, come on, baby. That's a limited.
Limited success. Yes. Okay. How about this? Alia starts to pray. Eyes closed, you reach out to the Lady of Tears, looking for guidance in this moment, looking for guidance. As the ship begins to power up, you see all the lights go down and like emergency lights come on as things begin to shift and preps are made. Let's get rolls from everybody else. You're right, we have a workshop on board, so the technology roll gets a +1. We have a blessing on this vessel, so there's a +1 for Tau.
We also have stealth technology.
+1.
Ship technology that reduces the signature by 1.
I'll give you a +1 to this as well then.
Okay.
That's 3 +1s.
And then we also have antimatter robots to give a maneuverability +2.
I'm gonna hold on that +2 only because that's gonna come in handy if you have to run. Basically, I'll have you make another piloting check to get out of there with that, because right now you're going to be slowly maneuvering versus like manipulating the vessel, which is really what that's for. So let's take the 3 to start. Let's get your
Sure.
piloting check. So we got a 1 technology roll, a limited 2 data gen check.
Here. God. 2 pilot.
So no failures at all. You only managed to put some things to rest and able to redirect in certain ways without blowing the ship up, basically. Maybe not as successfully as you wanted, but you do manage to boost a signal for Malik. Malik, did you take a +1 for that?
I did not.
Dude, roll an extra die. See if you get another 6.
Nope.
Okay, great. Nope. Okay. Tau begins to maneuver very slowly. The closer you get, the stronger that signal is, Malik, as you begin to hack into the portal, basically the portal station, to like gain control. You know you're going to need Tamir to actually enter coordinates and such in to program that once you get there, but you have successfully hacked in. Because you got a 2 and not a 1, they have not so far they have not noticed that you've hacked in. It's been completely secret. Tau, you're doing a great job. Which side? Did you go the Zelosian side or the Order of the Pariah side to hide?
The Order of the Pariah side, because those Zelosians are going to definitely have more tight of security and more uniformity of their ships and their flight patterns.
Yep. Good call. So again, this
It's
is
our
like
captain.
slowly but surely you hit like a small patch here, and you hover long enough to pass to the next section, and slowly but surely 20 or 30 minutes go by. Alia, you've been in this deep kind of prayer state. The team seems to be successful this far. At least nobody's been blown out of the sky. Everything seems to be nice and quiet. You do not hear back from the lady herself. You've never heard from the lady herself before.
I thought I did technically, because I thought we had a conversation with her when I was doing the exorcism or talking to the djinn.
Oh, right. Yes, she inspired you during that. You're right. That's the
Yes.
most you've ever got, but that is not this.
Mhm.
It's more of fractured portions of the premonition, these flashes. If you've ever had a migraine, this is much what this is, right? Where like
Sure.
light sensitivity and your head is like, you can't make your way around any of it. It's you thought the medicine might help, but it's not. You did get a success to reach out to her, and you specifically asked for guidance regarding this planet.
Mhm.
And a sharp pain shoots up the back of your neck into the front of your head, and you see a planet in a system. Now you see the butterflies arriving here before they make it down planet side. You have never been to this planet. I would question, you know what, roll a there's got to be like a, hang on, I gotta look at
Culture check.
a culture check.
Yeah,
That's exactly
okay.
what I was looking for. Yeah,
Yes.
a culture check. I'll give you a culture check.
Thank
As you kind
you.
of come out of this sharp pain,
Oh, are you kidding me?
the image of this planet
Darkness point.
Darkness
burns into your
point.
mind.
That was good. Take it, Dad. Take it all.
Back
Come on,
6.
baby. Come on. Come on. Okay, 2. Okay, 2 limited.
2, and you're trying to rack your brain, and you're like, okay, what did I see in that system? There were this many planets, that many moons, and you start running through your head. What could it be? What could it be? You realize after quite a while, you don't even know how long you've been under in prayer and meditation. It is the planet of Algol.
You just see Alia just like, oh, God. How's she like you see her try to get up from the table and then just like fall.
Lamara doesn't let that happen. Yeah, she kind of catches you and she says, you're not going anywhere. She goes over to the comm, and you hear say, Captain Tau, I know comms are supposed to be dead right now, but Alia's not doing great.
I need to tell them.
We can't right now. We're kind of under trying to stay hidden.
See, like
Just-
literally like slamming on the table because of the pain.
Yeah. How about I just excuse me while I and she injects you with something into your arm. You feel that pressure of that gun just like
You just hear
as
no,
it-
no, no.
And there's this moment of just euphoria as it passes over your body and puts you into kind of a nice sleep.
This is when
Um,
Tal's voice comes back over the comms. Look, we're about to jump through. Can you just go into the cryo chamber, Alia?
Yes, I will take Alia to the cryo chamber.
This little tiny thing is gonna take
And
me.
so Lamara begins the process of dragging Alia down the hallway very slowly, like I imagine scooped under the arms. Just, and she begins
Beautiful.
trying to like move while this is going on. She's gonna get you in one of these cryo tubes that's not turned off. Tal, you make it almost through the fleet to the other side. Tamir, unless you're going to get right up on the portal, you're going to need to program and open it up and then do a kind of last minute shot put in for Tal.
Okay, let's do it. Especially with potentially the double checking of Samir's calculations with
And
Ari.
don't forget, you get a +1 because of Ari.
Dot, could I take Tamir's calculations and like quickly make a program that's gonna run his calculations while we're in the tube? So like he doesn't have to be out here. Like I can make a thing that automatically runs
so she could
in
like press
so-
a button.
yeah.
She just presses a button,
and it
Yeah,
will run
I
through all the
love that.
calculations that Tamir's already done.
Let's get another datagen check along with Tamir's technology or science roll. I would say this is probably technology. Okay.
Ooh.
Yes, 2-2. Okay, more limited successes. So in this case, Malik is in. So far, they have not noticed you, which is good, but you're not completely out of the water yet. You program this, basically, you type it all out. Malik writes a piece of program, and Tal, he sends it, in essence, or programs it into a button on your captain panel that you can hit just in time to make it into your cryotube with a little bit more ease.
Okay, that's good.
So basically, when you set up when we set up to make the jump, it looks like it'll be a success. No problem in that regard. Now, because you're using Ari and the technology that you have is all about jumping through portals, and one of the things the First Horizon has mastered is not having to jump system by system, that they can go one portal to another portal to another portal. So a trip that might have taken you many weeks now will not take you many weeks. Everything seems to be in place. You hear Alia come over the comm. She goes, Alia is in the cryotube. Check.
Are you okay, Lamara?
It was fine. Great. Just I was working out. And you see, if you cut to the room with all the cryotubes, Alia's in there, like strapped in, but she's like already passed out. You know what I mean? And Alia's like trying to push her heavy body with one hand. And she like,
Lamara is.
yeah, Lamara's trying to like push Alia's body with one hand and get the door closed, you know, like in right and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, stuffing her in basically. But she has successfully gotten her, and she hits the button, and you see the cryo like pour in. And put Alia under stasis as Lamar goes, I'm gonna hop in as well. Anything you need from me, Captain?
No, have a good nap.
I saved you a seat, Malik.
On my way.
Okay. Click. And she crawls in and doesn't, of course, put the cryo on because she's waiting for Malik to join her as she waits behind glass. So 3 of you are all that are left in the cockpit of the vessel. As you finish programming, you finish writing the code to kind of time this, if you would. I imagine it's much like the code you'd write to program a camera to do a 10-second, right? It's very similar. Like you hit the button and then it's got a delay on it before it runs the program, opens the portal, and then Tau can shoot you through. Tau, as everything sets up, it looks like this might actually be a success, but you're going to have to jump from here to there, which is a much trickier piloting check. You're kind of setting yourself up for an autopilot. And this is the part where you may get noticed, because that portal's not supposed to open up for any reason.
Tal is absolutely 100% sure that there is no way they're going through unnoticed. No way whatsoever.
Great. So you're just trying to minimize the space in which they can see you.
Yes. She's only trying to minimize the space, the time in which they have to stop her. That's what she's looking for. So she's gonna inch as close as she possibly can before hitting that portal on button and going through. Oh my god, I'm so fucking nervous.
Malik and Samir, I imagine you cryo tube.
Yeah.
After a very confident kiss and is like,
No.
I'll see you on the other side. Just places his hand on her shoulder, gives it a little squeeze. That's the cryo chamber.
When Malik walks out of the bridge, when Tamir walks out of the bridge, Malik is standing there, and like as they're walking together, he looks over and says, "Look, man, if we survive, we got to get like a double wide one of these cryo tubes. She just won't get in her own. It's
What?
they're one.
Malik, why don't you get in hers?
They're one person. She gets in mine. There's one person,
Yeah, go get in the one that she would be in.
but it's open. It's open, and she's sitting there waiting.
Push the button.
Can you imagine the tantrum when we wake up?
Not my problem.
It's gonna be everyone's
And it just
problem.
like slaps him on the face gently. And
I just
hugs
love
his
hearing
chin.
Eris's
Why?
giggles from
Guys,
the background because it's not
look-
coming through her mic.
Think
The
about it while you're
best.
sleeping. Invent like a double wide. Like you could figure it out. Fucking, what's college good for? And he gets in his tube.
Nothing. College sucks. It's worthless. Nothing good.
More
comes
college,
going-
more problems, okay?
Yeah.
Everybody hops in their cryo tubes. She is in fact waiting on you. It's up to you if you want to hop in. She pats
he
a
gets
space that's
in.
like great. She squeezes in. You're really tight, like cheek to cheek. She looks very happy. As the cryo comes down, she's like frozen in that like position. I imagine Malik's like
Yeah.
in this cryo tube. And
Quick question.
yeah.
Malik, are you still taking your clothes off for this, or are you actually keeping your clothes on?
Now that there's another person in the tube, he keeps his clothes on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't want Lamar to get the wrong idea. This isn't the captain's quarters, you know.
It is Sally, of course, that comes over and says, "Captain, the crew is all in cryopods. We are set for portal transportation."
Great. Not nervous. Not nervous at all. This is... Okay. Still 3 plus 3?
It is still a 3 plus the 1 from this 4 this time.
4. Okay.
And you know what? Because it's your last stretch, I'll give you the +2. It was because of the boosters that you have, the maneuvering ones, because you're setting this up for autopilot to get you there. Basically, instead of making a tiny jump, you're making an extended jump. You're shot putting yourself across this empty space.
I will take that total +6.
Yeah, add 6 die to it. Okay, let's see how it goes. Wow! Critical success. Tau, deep breath. And somewhere out there, the Lady of Tears looked down on all of you. Maybe it was the prayer that Lamara put out. Maybe it's because your mission is just that important. But you hit the button. You hop in your cryo tube. You watch that red blinking light. 10 of them is what you get before the ship does its thing and sends the calculations. Tau, you go under into cryo, and what the crew doesn't get to witness for the first time ever is a readjustment of the portal. Something different happens. The kind of illumination balls that usually light the area rearrange themselves. And as they do, and they lock into place with this new code that has not been used here since before the Portal Wars, the kind of black hole space in between opens back up. If you could see the panic on board the portal station as people run around trying to figure out what's going on and why the portal is malfunctioning. Captains across the starships see this blast as a ship comes out from the side of the Order of the Pariah. The generals from either side begin yelling at one another for the illegal activity that has taken place. And we see the Defiant jump super fast as it speeds across empty black space in absolute silence. And as it reaches the portal, it's sucked through and out to the other side. The Defiant makes it to Kua, the system of Kua, as it comes out the other end of a portal. I'm going to play another card because I got darkness points to spend. I got so many darkness points to spend. I'm going to play the malfunction card because that sounds like fun.
That sounds opposite of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
That is a lie.
As y'all, how evil do I want to be? Do I want to be okay? I need
evil, Dad. Evil.
Rekka's daddy.
I'm about to assign you all a number.
Okay.
Malik is 1. I guess technically Malik and Lamara are 1. Tal is 2. Tamir is 3, and Alia is 4.
Okay.
Die. It had to be. It had to be.
It had to be. I deserve this.
During the jump, your cryopod malfunctions and opens up mid-jump. As the cryo kind of comes away and you get that feeling that you always get, that nauseous feeling, the pod does not open to let you out. Instead, it is absolute deadening silence. You see Lamara kind of open her eyes and she smiles at you, and then this look on her face crumbles as you both hear it and see it passing through the void. You can hear the screams. You can hear just the ripping and tearing of time and space. I'm going to have both of you make a stress check. This is the first time we've used the stress mechanic proper in this game. It's called the terror. At the sight of something truly horrendous, you may choose to have the PCs make a terror check. The PCs suffer 2 points of stress until they pass an empathy test.
Straight up empathy?
Straight up empathy.
Okay.
Lamara may actually pass this. Oh, shit. But Malik did. Malik, you realize what has happened, that you're in the middle of jump. And you see that Lamara there's something wrong. It's like she hears and sees things, and she begins pulling at her face as her fingernails claw down the sides and begin to draw blood. Her eyes and ears are beginning to bleed, and she's crying along with it. And she reaches for you, and she grabs tightly on your cloak as the ship passes out of time and space and into Kua, and all of that begins to go away, and she passes out in your arms in this tiny space. Her ears, her eyes, her nose bleeding. She's clawed at her face, and she seems, and then, of course, in that moment, the door.
Yeah, I think as soon as, like, her hands went to her face, Malik would have, like, there's not a lot of room, but right. He's Malik. He would have grabbed her wrists and, like, pulled her hands away, which means they were on his face.
That's cute.
So
she probably actually begins to claw your hands, like her fingernails embed into your hands. So instead, you take that damage and she claws away at your skin. And you can see she's not in her right mind in certain ways. Like she wasn't in her right mind in certain ways. Seemed to be somewhere else or hearing things that you couldn't quite put into place. But you did, in fact, pass that.
Yours and mine definition of cute varies very drastically, Dot.
I
don't think her clawing his face is kind of cute.
It tracks. It tracks. No, the cute. No, listen, KP. The cute part was that Malik didn't want her to claw her own face, so he sacrificed his dashing good looks so that she wouldn't hurt
that's
herself.
A stretch.
She has to continue to make an empathy check till she passes. Okay, that's a success. So she only took two bits of damage to her mind. Though there may be some other things. Poor Lamara. before it's over with. But as you come, the door like open, whatever malfunction is done, and her body goes limp. And I imagine you kind of catch her.
Yeah,
in your
he like
hands.
he has her like one arm and shoves the door open with the other arm and is just reaching for like the terminal, and he's frantically typing to unlock Alia's pod.
Yeah, of course. The next step is one by one the pods open. Alia, Tamir, when you come to and the haziness of your senses dissipates, you see that Malik is cradling a passed out Lumara who is bleeding from her orifices, and you can see that his hands are bleeding from what look like claw marks in some way.
Hey.
Tao, your pot. Oh yeah.
Hey, Alia.
Oh, he's just. What happened?
Take a pill. Come here. I need help.
Okay. You see, like, Alia's stumbling. Like, she's still kind of, I feel, drowsy from the drug and everything that she's been through. It's like, what? And, like, her back hurts. Like, why is my back hurting? Like, bruises all over because she's probably been bumped around.
Yeah.
And she's like, did we make it? What happened?
Not the problem. Get over here. Please help. I don't think you've ever heard Malik say those two words.
Okay. Yeah. Please help. Please and help.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I assist. Where are we going?
I don't know. We woke up in. He like looks at Tamir awkwardly in the portal.
You guys
go to the med bay.
Yes.
There's other tasks I need to take care of. Just take her to the med bay. Hook her up to the systems.
Alia, like literally just by herself, lifts up.
Yep. The two of you head towards medbay to put her under. Tamir, you headed to Tal?
Tal, yeah.
Yeah. You head up there. You see Tal is already out of the pod. Not a surprise. The captain's pod opens first, and Tal's, I'm guessing, seated, ready to drive the ship. And as
she's already working on like getting her bearings and already flipping stuff. And oh, good, you're awake.
And as when you get ready to manually pilot something, the front shields open up. And as they do, you see Coriolis and Kua, the monolith, poking up just above the cloud line. You can see it even from this far out. And a body thuds across the windshield, frozen as it kind of rolls across. And as the both of you look out, you can see that the space between you now and Coriolis is a minefield of people that have been shot out into space amongst the riots and things that have been going on here. This is not the Kua that you left.
I feel like Alia may not have seen any of this, so she's in the med bay.
The only two people that see it are Tal and Tamir.
Okay.
Tal just kind of sits there for a moment and takes that in.
Yeah, I feel like the both of them just kind of sit there and stare. Probably like, you've got like the star shining against and just making the silhouette of all these bodies.
All these bodies in
just that more
space.
pronounced.
Yeah, just floating there like debris. And as the both of you reach the med bay, Lumara always leaves the radio on because she loves the radio. And it, of course, is on Charity Station. But instead of Malik's repeat, we hear Charity come on, and she says, "Third Horizon, this is Charity. I hate to say today, I do not bring you good news. It has come to our attention that the city of Algo has been bombed by unknown raiders. Casualties are very high. It seems that they have been targeted for unknown reasons. Strange ships came out of space, shaped like butterflies. It seems that they have killed over 50% of the population of the city. It currently stands in embers. If you have a loved one who lives on Algol, now is a good time to reach out to them." Static over the radio once more as the death card is played. The Sons of Algol, specifically one, has made 2 statements now against the Nazarene, and they have retaliated against the city of Algol. We will end this week's episode there. as all of you stare out the front window and have arrived back in Kua, staring at home, sweet home.
What a somber endpoint. All right, cool. Let's
everybody good? We all good?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
you know, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
good.
we're all
good.
Okay.
Everyone muster up some smiles on those cheeks. Let's go around and do our introductions, get the hell out of here, and talk about this very deep like this took like an hour. This took an hour in real time, and this felt like it fucking took 2 years to do this one episode. Let's go around, do our introductions, get the hell out of here, do our after show. We got some things to talk about, some somberness to have, a shot or two. As always, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, Patreon link down below. That is the best way to support us on this channel. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us at the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation, do all that, like, subscribe things on the YouTubes, get those algorithm numbers up, comment on everything, just say hi, hang out. Let's go around. We will start with the person who hates going first the most. Gnome, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I don't hate going first. It's so easy. Hi, my name's Gnome. Check out my stuff. I do cool things. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm on my own channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the morning. If you like to wake the fuck up, that's what I do with Eris Savad, and we have a great talk show. Right now, I'm trying to put together a couple other shows. I've got a podcast that you should take a look at called on Twitter. It's Pod Oops, and it is a Fear Itself podcast that's going to be coming out in the spring. We've got a stellar cast, so go ahead and follow them over there, catch up on that. And then I'm going to be running an Animorphs inspired Tales from the Loop game in May, and just kind of finalized the cast for that, and I'm really flippin' excited. So go check that stuff out and hit me up on Twitter anytime.
Yeah, freaking yeah. He forgets that going first, and this means he goes first in the after show. But let's go over to Eris. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Eris Savad. I make things. I make things like dice trays and bags and things to put your brushes and pens in. Everything that I make right now at erisavad.com is 30% off if it's ready to ship, which a lot of things are ready to ship. So go check it out. You can find me here and there and everywhere at Stitched by Eris on Twitter, and you can find cat updates on TikTok at Eris Savad.
Perfect.
Yep.
KP, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hello, everybody. My name's KP. I go by KP11 Studios, and just like as Gnome said, you can find me on this channel every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and now also on Wednesday on Nat One Fun's gaming channel, where we are starting a brand new show. We started just episode 2 yesterday. We played, and it is a blast. Definitely not as dark as what we had today, but it's absolutely fantastic. If you like isekai shows, like where you main characters get thrust into a brand new world and they have insane advantages that shouldn't be possible for anybody in there, and you like D&D and you want to see a mishmash of those two things together, that's basically the show for you. So come check us out over there. And very soon we just I feel like you probably also saw Dot, but Friday games coming back. I think it's like currently almost set where everybody's coming back is the 18th. It's looking
18th,
like,
and the week before that, he's doing a guest show, so all of the guests, like big guest NPCs, not in. Yeah, so that's the City of Light and Shadow.
Yes, so that our City of Light and Shadow show is coming back. We have an entire season planned, and I'm so excited. So yes,
this is a season things get really bad in France.
Joy.
Yeah, just along the timeline, things get really bad in France.
Oh boy. So that's happening. Anything else you want to catch? Just follow me on Twitter. That's where I live. literally it's bad. But hey, good for you. That means you get to get, and Lindy in chat is
Lindy's in
one of our
chat.
crew. I'm so happy.
Lindy plays our absolute most favorite German opera singer.
So yes, so come check us out for that. But yeah, that's it for now. Anything else, just check me out on Twitter.
Hell yeah. And last but not least, Dot, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Friends, you can find me over at Cobalt Press, where I'm the full-time Twitch producer. And the rest of the time over at the Stitch of Fate podcast. Tomorrow is episode 50 of that podcast, if you can believe that. So we're very excited for our 50th episode. KP got caught up. Maybe for reasons.
Yes, I did.
But
it was so fun. It's so fun. I should be able to make it to that too. I do have a 9 a.m. meeting. God, I hate this. But at least for the first hour, I should be there. If it goes more, I won't. I don't know.
And we do a live listen with our dear fans of the podcast every Friday. So if you want to join us on our YouTube channel, I've got some other things coming down the pipeline, but some of it I can't talk about yet. I just can't talk about yet. So until I can, those are some places you can find me. And of course, like KP said, we'll be back on Fridays over at True Press JP's channel. So
yeah, did you talk about your private games that people can join?
I didn't. Technically, right now I'm actually booked out through February.
Yeah, I love hearing
March
that.
stuff is coming, but if you want to play some games with me, I'm running private tables, mostly one shots, but I am going to have some campaigns coming down the pipeline, including an Aliens campaign.
Nice.
So, all of you that are fans of the Alien, I'm going to be running some Alien content. So we'll do a 5 or 6 week campaign. So that's going to open up in March. So keep your eyes out. And I imagine those are going to book very quickly. So if you want to play, watch my social media for announcements.
Hell yeah. That's it from us, guys. We're going to do the after show again. If you want that after show and all the after shows for other of our shows, check it out on Patreon, the $5 tier. Go over there, join us, support us, do all that fun stuff, get behind the scenes access. But for now, that's it from us. So we will see you guys next week. So from all of us to you.
And we'll kick off with our corruption war.
Ooh. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Bye, friends.